How to virtually wholesale in 2024. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick Ginn here.
And in today's video, what we want to do is show with you exactly how in 2024 you can get your first virtual deal. That is right. Oh, geez. I'm going to show you exactly how you can get your first virtual wholesaling real estate deal right now, step by step. Now, one thing we want to say is we're in the new X-Leads office, and so we're getting all the studios and everything all set up. And we decided, we have the other studio, but like, hey, let's go straight to the basics. Let's get a whiteboard. Let's get in front of the camera and just show you exactly how you can get your first virtual wholesaling real estate deal. I had a pretty fun week last week. I was in Paris and London, and I had another six-figure week in assignment fees. You know why? Because I have the skills to virtually wholesale. Rick was local here in Florida, and he, because we're partners, had another six-figure week. Shocker, right? And the truth about how you can do this is you're doing deals all over the country, right? Like you're not, these weren't in Florida. I mean, some of them were Florida, but like, the point of this is I can be in Paris, you can be anywhere in the world, and you can still do wholesaling deals. How many times are you in a fishing boat and you get a little, a check or a wire and you just see it from the LT over the seas, right? It's because you're able to do assignment fees from anywhere in the world. This is the point. And this is what we're going to show you exactly today, how to get that first deal, how you can step-by-step virtually wholesale. And really what we're going to do today is kind of unveil what I like to call the guru curtain, right? A lot of these are like, okay, this is how you can find a deal, but if you want to know exactly what to say to a seller or how to find boots to the ground, or what if the seller says, well, aren't you going to see my house? That's behind the $4,000 boot camp seminar workshop that we have set up for you and all this other crazy stuff. And it's a $14,000 course. And we're sharing everything. This is going to be kind of a longer video, if you will. And basically what we're doing is doing a step-by-step virtual wholesaling guide today. So let's kind of break this all down and let's get into getting your first virtual wholesaling deal. Virtual wholesaling has changed my life, has changed your life. And we used to be just all in person, but virtual has really changed everything for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, my first probably 13, 14 years was all local market sales. So I tried virtual early. Didn't have the skill sets or the tools to have it. But I will tell you in 2024, virtual is everything. Because right now I can do deals all over the country. That's how I can do six-figure wholesale weeks. And without virtual wholesaling, honestly, there's just not enough deals in my local market. And some of you guys have issues where maybe it's saturation, maybe you're at the $1 million mark. So you now have the ability with amazing technology in 2024 to go wherever you want, but you still have to understand the fundamentals of wholesaling. If you don't understand the basics, no matter how many tools they're put in your hand, you are not going to get a great deal done. So we want to go to the whiteboard today, show you the fundamentals of virtual wholesaling, and just give you clarity on the steps to take forward.
So let's break this all down and let's get into virtual wholesaling. So I think we need to understand really quick, wholesaling real estate, just really quick. Like everyone knows local wholesaling, but what's the virtual? So let's kind of just break this down like really easy here, okay? Let's make this stupid simple, okay? Number one, we have basically a seller, right? Joe Seller, right? Whatever, right? That's him. He's a seller. He has a house and it's ugly, right? So this is his house right here. But Joe is a landlord. He wanted to buy a rental property. He watched Dave Ramsey and he figured out that he is a pilot. So he is, he's a pilot and he's gone 4 days a week and he's out of the country sometimes, right? And so he can't be in working as a landlord on some of these issues. And let's say, for example, this guy has some financial situation. He loses his job, whatever it is. Now he's this rental property and the tenant just leaves and he can't find one or he's struggling to find one. And he just lets the house just sit there. It's a vacant house. Now, a lot of you may be like, well, yeah, right. This is fake. Nobody just has a house and it just sits there, right? They live in it or they have a tenant. It's not just gonna sit there. Oh, it's insane the amount of properties where people own it and it's just sitting there. No one's living in it. It's mind-blowing to me, right? I think over 5 to 10%, I gotta look at the statistics of all homes are vacant. It is crazy. And so him, Mr. Landlord, he lost his job. He sucks. He doesn't know this real estate thing. Dave Ramsey told us all this stuff. And now the house has tall grass. Maybe a hurricane has hit the house. He didn't get insurance because that cost money. And now he has this crazy house that's abandoned with all this damage. It's ugly. He just wants out, right? He's getting a new job at a pilot school in Colorado. He lives in Florida. He needs out of it. Don't cover the whiteboard. But he's got to get out of here, right? And here comes little Zach, okay? Let's call 17-year-old Zach, right? 17-year-old Zach. Let's do 17-year-old Zach, right? You know, little high schooler kid, right? And I go out here and I just go to like, you know, xleads.com, right? I go to xleads.com and I just pull a list of vacant properties. And what I do when I go to xleads, I pull some vacant properties, go to cyber background checks, get some skip tracing, and I call everyone and I eventually call this guy and I say, hey, Mr. Seller, right? Looking to sell your property? I'm looking to buy. He's like, oh, you're looking to buy? Let me get out of this house. I go meet him. I write a contract. Just go all the way down here. Okay. I write a contract to buy the house for $100,000. Okay, pretty simple. It's a little piece of paper. We write it, says Zach, the 17-year-old, or I'll make it 18 so it's all fine. We'll call it 18-year-old Zach. I was already rich by then. But basically, $100,000 I'm buying this house for. Now, me at 18, do I have $100,000? No, I do not. But I have a old snobby rich man, he's got his monocle, right? This really rich guy. His name is, what's a rich guy's name? What's a rich person name? Like Dante. I'll do Dante or whatever, right? He's like French, right? He's got the little thing. Dante. Some very rich guy. He's got a nice collared shirt, right? And he's rich and he just owns like 50 rentals, right? He owns 50 rental properties and that's all he does. Like he's very savvy. He's a very rich guy, right? Richard, that's a cool one, right? And he just buys rentals. That's all he does. And he just makes a lot of money because his dad owned an oil company and he just likes real estate. So he just buys rentals with the oil company money, whatever, right? There's a lot of corporate executives that do this. They just use their salary of millions of dollars and they just buy rentals, right? He is used to going to a realtor, but he's watching Bigger Pockets or whatever, and now he's used to this concept of wholesalers. I go and look at all the rental properties because I'm using xleads, right? And I'm like, okay, let me find all the landlords in the area. And I find that Dante is a big landlord. He owns 50 rentals because xleads, you can do that. What I do is I call him up because I get his phone number. I say, hey, Dante, looking to buy any more rentals? This one's right next to your rental property. Really? A house like that, to Dante's mind, he has to spend probably $130,000 on the market for a house like this. He'll spend $130,000 and then he's going to rent it out and it's going to be worth like $180 after everything, right? But he's used to buying this for $130 with his realtor. Then he has to pay the realtor and it's a big fuss. I say, Dante, let me sell you this property, sell this contract for $110,000. He's like, what? Wait, I have to usually pay $130 for this. You're going to sell it to me for $110? Oh, this kid knows nothing. He's an idiot. So he says, sure, I'll buy that contract for $110,000. He thinks he's getting a smoking deal because he kind of is compared to a realtor. He's saving. How much is Dante saving here, right? He is saving probably 25, 30 grand. Oh my gosh, he's happy. He's happy. He's really happy. And what happens is at closing, $110,000 goes to the title company and basically $100,000 of Dante's money goes to the seller He's out of it, thank goodness. And $10,000 goes to this 18-year-old kid in high school. Whoa, it's pretty dang gay. You know what $10,000 is for an 18-year-old? That's like 14 billion, right? So that's what it feels like. And this is what wholesaling real estate is. Now, hopefully I didn't confuse it, but basically you write up a piece of paper, you go to a rich landlord and say, hey, looking to buy this? He says, yeah. Okay, well, can you do this price? Oh, wow, that's a good deal for me. Because it usually always is a good deal compared to a realtor. He's great. You get 10 grand at closing. He gets his 100 grand like we agreed, and everyone's happy. Wow, I love wholesaling. Now, this is one of the greatest concepts ever invented in the world. This is why I am a multi-millionaire and I'm able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Now, this is all great and sexy and fun because I live in Florida. That's a great market. I was truly blessed. Thank you. But what if we go back to that same 18-year-old kid, all right? What if we go back to that same 18-year-old kid and he now lives in, let's do New York City. Got a lot of probably New Yorkers in the building here, right? New York, shout out. He lives in, let's say, Brooklyn, right? How he's going to find some vacant houses? Not really, right? Wow, I guess my dream's done, right? What if I live in, let's do a shout out, right? With some of our top international markets, right? So let's say we get a person from South Africa. Okay, we have a lot of people from South Africa. Anyone in Africa in general, I think it's like one of our top like virtual viewers outside the United States, Canada, South Africa, Nigeria, right? A lot of the English-speaking African countries are people that speak English. South Africa is amazing because I think we have like 6 or 7 guys in there last month that sent me a check like, Zach, you changed my life, right? So shout out to everyone across the world. I love that South Africa. I definitely want to go to Cape Town, Johannesburg. Heard it's a great place, right? Beautiful, beautiful country, right? I like South Africa. Is that the real estate investing capital of the world? No, okay? It is not a good place for real estate investment. Beautiful people, beautiful country, not the best economy, unfortunately. If I live in South Africa, I cannot do this. It's probably not legal. I can't do this in New York City. I can't do this in Canada. I can't do this in France. I can't do this in basically China, right? The United States of America is the best place to do it. And then do I just tell everyone in New York City, your dream's crushed? Do I tell everyone in South Africa, no, just stay broke? No. You have the same opportunity that I just showed you, just doing it from your computer. And this is what I'm here to show you, okay? So I'm here to show you how to virtually do this process. Now, this process is just as simple as what I'm going to show you here. Let's do blue for virtual so we know, okay? Let's use the same number, same example, and just show you kind of the overview of the differences here, okay? Number one, we have said seller. Let's use just a different example because I like using like real deal examples, right? Okay, we have, now let's use a lady, okay? Her name is, it's a good lady name.
Karen.
Karen. Lord, okay. Okay, we got Karen, okay? Karen's a sweet lady. Karen has 4 kids, married, and she's living a great life, and she lives in, let's say, upstate New York, okay? Great lady, cool, living a great life. She lives in upper middle class, doing well. Husband's a stockbroker. Whatever boring middle class life you want to talk about, right? Karen, her father, who is 97 years old, okay, passed away. 20 years ago, he was a union representative for his Teamsters, and he retired with a great benefits package and moved to Boca del Rey, Vista Suites in beautiful South Florida in a nice assisted living home. And he is all happy there. And he's lived there for the past 20 years on his Social Security and retirement because it's Florida. We love Boca del Vista, right? The whole Seinfeld thing, right? He unfortunately passed away because he's 97. Florida is God's waiting room. I live in Florida. Love old people in Florida, but there's a lot of old people, and that's basically where they go when they're retired. He unfortunately passed away. She now is very sad, but he's 97, right? Like, I mean, lived a great life. I would be blessed to live to 97, hopefully more, but rest in peace to Karen's dad. So he passed away, and he owned his Boca del Vista house, right? And he bought it for 14 cents in 2002 probably, and now it's worth $300,000. So, you know, Seymour is doing really good when he passed away, because that's basically how old people do it. They buy the house for nothing, and now it's worth a lot of money. She remembers him buying it for, I don't know, $40,000. Now it's worth $300,000, right? So in her mind, it's a $30,000 house. That's what he bought it for, right? And so basically, it's a perfect house, actually. The problem is he died a year ago, and she has been inconsolable for a year because her 97-year-old father unexpectedly and tragically passed away. Now, am I going to tell Karen that, he's 97? But I'm not going to say that, right? So he passed away. So for a full year, no one's been taking care of the property, just had tall grass. It's a little musty in there. She didn't pay the utility bills or anything. It's just kind of a little, it's a little ugly, right? And he passed away, and she's just been inconsolable. And now it's a year, and she's like, okay, now it's time to, my kids are going to college, need some extra breathing room here. We got to get rid of Dad's house. And she goes and says, what's the process? And the lawyer's like, well, we got to file a probate, so you're the owner, then you can sell it. And she says, okay, fine. Let's file a probate. Let's do Zach. Let's use Zach, for example, last week, okay? This is me last week, okay? I had my beret, right? I'm eating my baguette. I am looking at the little Eiffel Tower. I'm having a good time, right? What I do is I pay my VAs, and what they do is they go to the court records on the computer and find all the probates being filed. Well, it looks like Karen just filed a probate for her deceased father. Let's do Karen Smith. And the decedent was Seymour Smith, right? Just using an example, right? Seymour Smith. And so what I do is I see Seymour Smith passed away, and Karen Smith is looking to get the house. And so what happens here is we look up Seymour Smith on the property appraiser, and I see it's this house. And what I do is my team skip traces it, and then we cold call Karen. So it's my whole VA team. But let's just say I did it. I'll call from my little cafe. I'll cold call Karen and say, hey, Karen, my name's Zach, and are you the owner of this house? Well, yeah, I guess I'm the owner. Okay, well, are you looking to sell it? I'm looking to buy a couple houses in the area for cash. Oh, wait, you're just looking to buy it? Like, I don't have to go through all this process. But no, it's in probate right now. I can't deal with it. Well, actually, we can write up a contract, an agreement, and then we can deal with the probate yourself. And heck, how much are you paying for the probate? Oh, it's like $2,000. I'll just take care of it too. I'll pay for that, and I'll pay for closing costs, and you just get the cash. Really? Yeah. Well, can you meet me at the house? No. I'm in New York. I can't go see at the house. And if I go see my father's house, I'm gonna start crying. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, why don't we just write up an agreement over the phone, right, on the computer, and then my team can go out there, take some pictures, and you don't have to deal with it. You just get the cash. Okay. Well, I have no personal belongings because he moved there. There's really nothing important, and we already cleaned out the place like at the funeral. If you just buy it and give me my cash in 30 days, sure. Okay, well, let me stay on the phone with you, and let's kind of talk about the property and blah, 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 blah. And then you write up an agreement. You send over a DocuSign of a contract. She signs the contract for, let's use same numbers, $100,000. And ready. We are ready to close in 30 days. She might be like, wait, how do I know you're really going to buy the house? Well, here's my title company. Call them and see if we're legit. And, oh, yeah, no, they're legit. They're good to go. Oh, wow, this is all good. She e-signs the contract on the computer for $100,000. I go back here to Dante. Dante's happy now. I don't know why. And he owns 17 rentals in Del Boca Vista, Florida, Old People Central. And he's like, I usually buy this for $160,000 from my realtor. You want to sell it to me for 130? You're crazy, Zach. I'm making 30 grand off of you. You're an idiot, Zach. And I say, well, I'm just here to give you a deal, my man. And he is like, oh, look at this idiot. And so I get 30 grand at closing. And then she gets her $100,000 at closing. Actually, never mind, that's 60 grand. Oh no, he's used to 160. 30, they get 100, I make 30 grand, and I never saw the property. I never lived in the house, I never saw it, and I'm eating my baguette in Paris. So this is virtual wholesaling. That's what it is. Pretty simple. I can be anywhere in the world and just DocuSign the contract. That is it. So that is virtual wholesaling in a nutshell. Now, I'm going very, very painfully slow on this because I want to answer all of your questions today. And I want to break down everything from where to find the market, what to say, and all these things. So, makes sense, right? Now you might be like, okay, Zach, I got a lot of questions here. And let's start from the beginning of exactly how to start virtually wholesaling. But first, I have a $10,000 boot camp if you want to attend to it tomorrow. Just go to my website, guru.com. And somebody on our team can go reach out to you and we can have a conversation. Just kidding. This is stupid, guys. I'm literally giving you all the information I have. I have nothing to sell you here. Just trying to get you some wholesaling knowledge. Just kidding. So here comes the $1 million question. What market do I wholesale in? Where do I find my Del Boca Vista, right? That's the question. I live in New York City. What market do I virtually wholesale real estate in? Where do I go? What do I do? How do I find a good deal, right? That is a good stinking question you got. So let's break down what makes a good virtual wholesaling market. There are a lot of factors actually that make a good virtual wholesaling market, but really it comes down to supply and demand. So I like to look at wholesaling real estate kind of like a pizza shop, or like a good market is a pizza shop, right? If I want to open up a pizza shop, am I going to go out here to Lincoln City, Johnsonville in middle of the plains in Iowa and open up the most gourmet Italian pizza shop in the world and I'm making a Michelin star? No. Okay, no one's going to go to central Iowa for your awesome, crazy place. There's no really big market for it, right? Now, if I decide I want to go out here and make my super exquisite, perfect Italian pizza shop in, let's say, Brooklyn, New York. Oh, if I'm good, I can make a lot of money. There's a lot of people in Brooklyn, but there's also competition. There's a lot of good pizza places in Brooklyn. So that's the main issue we got here. So you kind of want to find a place that's not too known, but has enough money to be made. And so you got to remember, let's use pizza because I love pizza. Let's use cash buyers, okay? Cash buyers are our customers, right? So when I look at a wholesaling market, a good virtual market, we want to, let's talk about the pizza shop. We want a lot of customers there. We want good clientele. We're not going to go in suburban, central Texas if there's not anyone living there, right? We're not going to go to the middle of the desert in Arizona. We're going to go to maybe Phoenix, Arizona, right? Maybe there's a lot of customers there, right? We don't know, but we got to go to a place where we have enough customers to actually do well. And the next question is, okay, you can bring a lot of customers, but if your pizza sucks, no one's going to buy it. All right, let me make that clear. You could have all the customers everywhere. You could live in stinking Los Angeles, but if your pizza's terrible, no one's going to buy it. They might buy the first one and then never coming back. So what is our pizza quality, right? What is our pizza? What's like a good quality pizza? Because I know for a fact, if I go to Atlanta, Georgia, right, I go straight in the downtown Atlanta and I have pizza, and it's the best pizza in the world, I know I'm going to make a lot of money because people in Atlanta love good food, right? So what is our quality of food? It is our contracts, okay? So we have pizza and we have customers, right? But also our customers want pizza. Our cash buyers want good contracts. Does this make sense? Capiche? Gabagool? Good. So customers, pizza, buyers, contracts. And what I have personally found is if you want to place a lot of buyers, you need a good population for the county. If you want a place where you can really good contracts, good discounts on real estate, there's a certain median home price in mind we have to know. So let's kind of break down my 2 criteria for a good virtual wholesaling market. All right. Number 1, let's talk about probably one of my 2 criteria, right? There are 2 criteria for a good market, right? We want a criteria where there are good buyers and a criteria where we get good deals. So let's have Rick explain exactly how to find a market with good buyers and a good market with a lot of deals. So let's break this all down and share.
Okay, so we're talking about how to find the right supply and demand when you're looking at virtual wholesaling. So how do we find the most buyers? It's simple. Like me and Zach did not reinvent the wheel on this. We just took the data that's already out there. So if I want to find buyers, the easiest statistic I can go to right off the bat and simplify this process without analyzing a million pieces of data is I am simply going to, let me put it this here, is you are going to look at population. You're like, but Rick, what's the population number? Here is the steadfast rule. This is 21 years of my research. 100K. 100K, you get the absolute green light on it, you're good to go. Everyone's like, well, what if it's 75? What if it's 50? Once you start teetering off this number
For the county.
For the county. So it's a county population, you're going to have problems. Why? Because they are far and few, like there's less demand for it. And so where there's 100,000K populations, there's plenty of cash buyers, people that have money. You have enough statistical data, people, if you have a good deal, you will find a buyer. A lot of times when you guys are struggling to sell your deals, you got 1 or 2 problems. Either you're in a rural area, you don't have enough buyers, or you overpaid for the property, which will lead us to our next one. So there are some exceptions to the rule, but once you start going below 100K, it's going to cost you a lot more time to find a buyer. Don't believe me? Go contract something in North or South Dakota with a population of 15, 20,000. You're looking at 3 to 6 months to move your contract. Even on a great deal. You know why? There's just not enough buyers. You don't have enough buyers. Remember, buyers are your customers. Nobody ever talks about in this wholesaling. Your buyers are your customers. There are no exceptions. If you don't have enough buyers, it's hard to supply the product. The second problem a lot of wholesalers have is they over-contract the property. They're like, Rick, how can I pick the right property to get it sold? Once again, this is like a common sense thing. Do not overthink this. We are not going to reinvent the wheel. So the first thing we need to do is find out what the median sale price for the market is you're looking at. Now, how do I do this? It's simple. You can use ChatGPT, you can use BART, hell, you can use Google. You can use Zillow. And you just, it can rank them however you want to rank them, from high to low, whichever one you want to pick.
You can search Dallas median home price.
Yeah, so say if you're going to do like the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just put in there Dallas average median home price. So the idea is you want to find a median. So listen, if you didn't pass statistics like me, I'm going to give you a crash course. The median is just the middle, meaning there's ones that are much more expensive and there's ones that are cheaper. It is the common denominator. So there's going to be properties this way, there's going to be properties that way. The reason why we want you to focus on the median price is this is what the cash buyers want. And remember, the further you go over to the right on, say, like a $700,000 house, it's going to cost you an enormous amount of time to get it sold. Why? Because there's less cash buyers on this side. If you go to really sub-markets where there are really rough neighborhoods, those are much harder to sell too. And here's the secret. It's the same amount of stress to sell a $30,000 house as to sell a $300,000 house. In fact, the $300,000 house is going to have more of a spread. So find your average median price and you want to stay at or below it. Here's a good denominator. Anything above 400K is usually going to cost you more time and energy to sell. And the problem as wholesalers is we need to move with speed. Typically, we're moving 30 days or less. So if I say I get a $700,000 house and say you got a smoking deal on it, remember, we are wholesalers. Don't think like a flipper. Don't think like a landlord. If I buy a $700,000 house, I have to have a deep, deep discount. If you think getting a $700,000 house under contract for $600,000, you're going to be shocked. It's not going to move, not for the price that you want it to do. So if you stick to that average median price, you'll do fine. So just search the average median price for the market you're looking and stick with it at or below. And when it comes to the buyers, try to target solid county populations, at least 100,000 or more. Can you go below it? Yeah, but like if you're at 50, I would say that's an absolute no-go. The worst thing you can do is find a great deal and you can't find a cash buyer because you do not have enough of a population base. So the last one I'm going to tell you is some things don't change. I don't care if you do it virtually, locally, and I'm just going to run this by you. So you got to have 3 rules when you do virtual wholesaling. Let me get my black pen out here. You got to adhere to this. So right off the bat, we already told you 100K population for the county, and then we talked about the average median price at or below. So rule number 1, you want to be direct to the seller. Why? That's how you get the best deal. That's how you're going to connect with them. You have to build rapport with them. If you're not direct to seller and say you're talking to a third party, like a realtor or anything like that, I'm not saying you can't get deals from them, but if you're just starting out and you're doing virtual wholesaling, direct to seller is going to be the key, and you have to understand that. The next thing you got to understand, you want off-market deals. You want to find them on your own. And here's the key to this. The harder it is to find the property, the more of an advantage you have. You have less competition. You don't have people trying to fish up the price on you. And this is how you get the best deals. If you want to know what off-market is, it means you found it and nobody else really has access to it. You can use government lists. You can use all sorts, which we'll talk about. But off-market gives you a huge competitive advantage. It means you do not have to bid the property up. If you do on-market properties, they're going to try to get the highest offer. The last one, which is an important one, guys, and this is always the fundamentals, is the sellers need to sell. Here's the key, guys. It's not that everybody wants to sell a property, period. 100%. Any property goes on the market. But you need to find the ones that need to sell. Maybe it's a probate, a loss of a loved one. Maybe someone's lost their job. Maybe they're stuck with a foreclosure pending on their record. Maybe there's an eviction. Maybe it's a trashed house. Guys, the amount of houses that sit vacant in the United States market is staggering. It's unbelievable. You don't believe me? Pull the vacancy report list and it'll blow you away. But if you go direct to seller, off market, people that need to sell your house, this works in the local market, but this is even more stressed in a virtual market because you don't know the market as well. So you are going to have to find the most motivated seller. The key to finding the absolute most motivated sellers is direct to seller, off market, and someone who needs to sell their house. Now, if you don't understand the part need, think about things that you need. Let me ask you, if you have a lot of money and you can actually afford to buy like a high-end sports car, say like a Lamborghini, do you need it? Absolutely not. It is strictly a want. Do you need electric to survive in your house? It's going to be wildly uncomfortable without. Can you survive without food? No, you need food. So find people that need. People who want to sell, they typically go to a realtor, they put it on market, and they make everything super easy up front. Remember, the easier it is up front, the harder it's going to be for you in the back end. If you do all the work we're talking about, and we're just getting started on here, you are on your path for virtual wholesaling. But please, guys, remember the market rules. 100K population, at or below average median price, and then make sure to find motivated sellers who use these 3 rules: direct to seller, off market, and people that need to sell their house. You got to understand that. So I'm going to bring Zach up and we're going to go through the next section here. I'll erase this off.
Let's talk. How do I find, okay, now I'm excited. Okay, I want to get a deal. Let's go, right? You're pumped up. You want to make 20, 30 grand next month, right? We're pumped. We're ready to go. I don't know where you put the cap on this, but all right. So let's make this 30 grand, right? How do we do this? How do we get rich? How do we find wholesaling deals? What do we do here, right? What's the key here? Okay. Let's break this all down. Okay. Now, if you're watching this and you want to get some wholesaling deals, right? The king of your priority, the number one thing you need to be focusing on is finding the deal. Finding the deal is 90% of the work. And to find a deal, we have to market to it. So how do we go out here and reach out to these people like Karen, people like the other dude who had the pilot, right? How to reach out to these people in distress situations? Well, you need a list. You're like Santa Claus. You need a list and you need to use them to find these sellers. So what are the top lists right now for us to find virtual wholesaling deals, right? There's a lot of lists out here. There's a lot of ways to find wholesaling deals. But primarily, these lists are going to be lists that not the average Joe Schmo can pull. The problem is real estate influencers, and heck, me like sometimes are guilty of this, where you tell you just use the software. It makes life a lot easier. But the problem is when I have hundreds of thousands of people using the software and they all do the same thing, you get the same results. If you ever listen to a wholesaling guru, they either tell you to find a wholesaling deal. They don't even do lists, right? They say do PPL, they do PPC, they say do SEO, put a bunch of money on Facebook ads and do this, right? And we'll talk a little bit later today about how PPL actually, the companies are actually kind of dead right now. Big shout out to the current president, he did that. But basically, let's talk about the top lists for wholesaling real estate. Number one, if we're virtually wholesaling, we need to go after lists that nobody else in your market's pulling outside of people that are subscribed to this YouTube channel, right? So number one, I'm going to tell you, code violations probably should be a number one priority for everyone watching this right now. These are people that have ugly houses and code enforcement is actively attacking them right now for not having a nice house. Code violations, number one. Number two, I'm going to tell everyone, go after tax liens. Now, if you're watching this, and heck, I would probably put a majority of people watching this, let me know. Are you pulling or not pulling the tax delinquencies and the tax liens? Give me a yes, give me a no. I will tell you, if you're going to be 100% truthful to yourself, you are not pulling the tax delinquencies and the tax liens. Number one, probably because you're like, well, I don't even know how to pull this list. That's fair. Well, I'm going to show you right now how to do it. But most of you guys say, well, I kind of know I should be doing it. I know that I'm supposed to, but I'm not doing it. I get that a lot, right? Okay, well, just go to the tax collector for properties. So there's a property tax collector or there's a tax collector office for real estate. Even the property appraiser does this. And they're like Santa Claus. They have a list. They know if you've paid your property taxes or not. You know why? Because if you're watching this and you own real estate and you don't pay your property tax, you get an angry letter from the tax collector saying you need to pay up or you're getting rid of your house. It's kind of interesting, but it's true. So they have a list of people that pay their taxes and don't pay their taxes. Now, this is probably one of the easiest lists to pull because the tax collector, it's like, can I get a list of people not paying their taxes? They're like, yeah, let's go after them like crazy. I'm going to give you that list because I want to embarrass these people. I'm telling you, it's crazy. The tax collector loves to publicly show if someone paid their taxes or not. They love it. They love to publicly embarrass people because everyone's got their cool whip, right? They got their like Chanel bag and they have no money and they actually can't pay their tax liens and they're in big credit card debt, right? So everyone loves to show off the Instagram lifestyle. But the cool part is if you don't pay the tax, it is publicly available and it's private. You can just call and get the information. Tax liens, You need to pull them. The reason why you're telling yourself that I'm going all in, I know you're not doing it. I know for a fact. So do it. The reason that you're not doing it right now is the reason why I put it on here. Because the average person like you saying, oh, I don't want to do it, that's where the money's at, because no one's doing it. No one. So it's not saturated. So when it says, oh, the whole thing's so saturated, well, no one's pulling it. Same with code violations. I think a lot more people are pulling code violations, but let's talk about, again, probates. Don't make me go on a rant. Don't make Rick go on a rant, because he's on the chair right now like, oh, I want to get up. I want to get up. I want to talk about probates. But probates, pull them. Go to wholesaling.com. We teach you how to do it step by step. You need to pull the probates, okay? So people that passed away, an amazing list to be going after. Again, number 4, pre-foreclosures, people not paying their mortgages. Number 5, I'm just listing these down. Just go to wholesaling.com. They're all going to be here. The water shut-off list. Heck, should I even put fire damage property in there, or are you going to do it? Yeah, I'll put fire damage property in there. Why not? These are properties that went on fire. Fire. I have terrible handwriting, but hey, when you make enough money, you can afford to have bad handwriting. I type everything, so that's why you know this. So these are my top 6 free lists right now for virtual wholesaling. I know for a fact 95% of everybody watching this has not pulled and marketed to all active ones for the past 30 days of these 6. Now, should we have a therapy session while you're not doing it, or should we actually just fix this? If you have no money, you can't afford not to do this. There is $25,000 in this. Now, what if I told you, okay, what if I told you this? Okay, let's say you live, wherever you live right now. Let me say at the City Hall trash can, there is $25,000 of $100 bills on the bottom of the trash can right now. And all you have to do is just drive over to the trash can by City Hall and pick it up. Would you do it? Oh, yeah. You would do it. If you didn't have a car, you would find a way to go to City Hall. You would run 3 miles to go to City Hall and get that $25,000. It's just stacked cash, right? You'd be doing it. You'd be sprinting. You do all this stuff, right? Right? Like you would do it. I would do it. We'd all do it. I'm telling you, there's $25,000 sitting there in these lists. You just got to pull the list, call them, and someone's got your money. That's it. But the weird part about how human beings work is they want a complete guarantee that the money's going to be there. But guess what? What if I tell you there's 30 other people trying to get that $25,000 in that trash can? Would that stop you from going out here and trying to get it, or would you just still run and see it? Well, heck, even if I don't get it, it's a good chance to get that 25 grand. That's life-changing money. Right here. Come on. It's right there. And it costs you no money at all to do this. This is why that trash can scenario is so sexy, because it doesn't cost me anything. Guys, it's free. I don't know what else I can tell you here. There's also a couple paid ways you can do this. I'm not big on paid lists when you have no money. Even as a guy that owns the top wholesaling software in wholesaling. But if you need to use software, and if you have X leads, I do want to let everyone know this too. I would probably say the X leads AI stacked lists. The X leads AI stacked list is probably going to be another really big virtual list that works well. The AI stacked list basically goes off of probate, vacants, if it's a pre-foreclosure, if they have equity, if they owned it for a while, if it's a tired landlord, basically stacks like 150, 200 distressed property points, and it scores it from 0 to 1,000. Anything of 700 score or above, it's amazing. Just go to xleads.com, pretty gangster. On top of this too, I would probably go into X leads and I would just stack X leads. I would stack high equity with a government list. With a government list. So any of those 6 lists, import those leads into X leads And basically anything that has high equity, I would go after it. I just auto stack that. Also, I would stack any of these things too. So basically, if government lists show up more than once, stack it, good to go. Those are what I should do on the paid section of this. But really, those are the top lists. Now, marketing and finding a wholesaling deal is really two things. It's lists, and it's going out here and doing the marketing channels, right? So what is a marketing channel? It is, in my opinion, the rod and the reel. So you're going to kill me here. You know, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to can you draw a fishing reel for me? I don't think I can draw it right. Can you draw a fishing reel?
I can try.
Let's try. I was about to get roasted. I was about to not look good. I was going to do a fly fishing one, but I'm not a good artist. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. See, you can do it you have it memorized.
Oh, yeah.
So the reason I'm saying this is we're drawing a fishing reel because we love fishing, right? But basically, a fishing reel it's a rod, right? It's a reel and kind of the pole, right? That's what it is. So it's a pole with basically the line, and then you reel it in, right? But I want to show you exactly. See, that's a lot better. There we go. What a champ. Okay. Wow. Okay. Now he's getting really into detail.
Got to put the handle on.
Get the handle in. Okay, Mr. Fisher. I love fishing too. Okay. So that is it, right? Now, let's say I'm a big shark. These are what sharks look like, right?
Good Lord.
Right. I don't know. Let's say I'm a big shark and now I'm going through it and I have it hooked, right? I have it hooked on a big crazy hook, right? And I am now catching it, right? I got the shark. Here's the thing about fishing, okay? Mr. Fisherman can explain this. Same thing with me, but you've had a lot more years, right? If I want to catch this 200, 300-pound bull shark, which is just Florida man stuff, literally outside the office, there's bull sharks everywhere. If I have, let's say, a 5-pound test, what's going to happen? Really, it's going to just break. If I have a really bad quality, like equipment, it's going to break, right? And so if I have a really, really bad rod, right? What if it's like a Walmart rod and a 300-pound shark bites it? What's going to happen?
Rod's going to break.
Rod's going to break because it's really cheap and it's bad. It's not good quality. Okay, what if I have the craziest rod reel? What is it? A Penmaster 3000? Well, what's like the most quality reel you can get?
Stella.
Stella with a Chaos rod?
It's like $1,400 reel.
$1,400 reel?
Yeah.
It's not bad. Basically, let's say with the most with a perfect rod, that thing ain't going to break with a 300-pound shark. But what if I just put a hot dog on that thing? You think a bull shark's going to eat that? Probably not, right? What if I put a pickle on the end of that? It's stupid, right? What if I put a nice live goggle eye on there, which is a type of bait fish? That thing's going to eat it. So here's the thing we're kind of learning here with marketing, right? I can have a little Walmart rod and reel, $15, and if I put a goggle eye as the bait, is the shark going to eat it? It doesn't care you have a $30, right? It only likes the bait, but it's going to snap. And vice versa, if I have the best rod and reel, but I have really bad bait, I ain't going to catch anything. So the point here is you need good rod and reel, and you also need good bait. If they're both not good, it ain't going to work. If one's good, it ain't good. You have to have it all perfect, right? And so what I just talked about, the bait is the lists, and the rod and the reel is the marketing channel. We love fishing, so we use a lot of fishing analogies here. But the point is, I just showed you how to get the best bait for fishing. But if you have a really bad rod and reel, it's going to snap in half. It doesn't matter. You can have you can get in front of the perfect motivated seller list. But if you do not know how to reach out to these people on a channel, it ain't going to go well at all. So let's talk about marketing channels, which is actually, I think, a lot more simpler because it's all on freewholesaling.com. Let's talk about really quick the top marketing channels. So what are the top virtual wholesaling marketing channels? I would tell you first and foremost, before you cry, it's cold calling. Wham, wham, wham. Go call Go cry to me that cold calling sucks. And I'll show you everyone who gets rich cold calling. Number one, by far, not even a question if you have no money. The best way to find a wholesaling deal is by just calling these people up. Put life in your own hands. Call these people up, say, hey, are you looking to sell your property and looking to buy up a house in the area for cash? Do it. I guarantee you, when you call, your skills gain. You make a stupid amount of money. Now, am I telling you to drop $5,000 in direct mail here? No, I'm not doing it because I'm thinking you don't have that much crazy money here, right? So let's do that, right? Number two, you can SMS, text blast motivated sellers. It's a lot easier, and you can do it for free. Go to wholesaling.com. We teach you how to do it absolutely for free. And then on top of that too, we're going to do something that sounds new, but it's not new. I kind of changed the name of it because some people in their minds, they don't like the name. So I'm calling this reverse Facebook ad hacking. Whoa, that's a sexy name. I want to start doing that. Whoa, what is that? Reverse Facebook ad hacking? Whoa, that's so cool. Well, what that basically is digital bandit signs. That's what we call them, digital bandit signs. But I sometimes change the name because some people don't want to do it. All you do is you just go to Facebook groups and you just make posts saying that you're looking to buy some houses in the area for cash. If you get in a Facebook group with 30,000 people saw your post. Boom, it's like making 30,000 texts. It works really, really well. And we teach this at freewholesaling.com. We have over 250,000 active students in there. Shout out to everyone on here supporting us. But basically, reverse Facebook ad hacking. Do you have a sexy name for this? What do you call it? The Ginn method? I don't care. Whatever makes you do it, that's all that matters. That's how you start doing deals. So call it texting, reverse Facebook ad hacking. I wish I could tell you can go out here and put sticky notes out. I'm not going to make it complicated. I'm not going to put all these crazy things on there. That's all you got to do. Now, your big question here, and I am basically just breaking everything down for you today, me and Rick, is, okay, Zach, that's great and all, but how do I find their phone number? Is this where you like, oh, you have to spend $4,000 in skip trades? No. If you want to find somebody's phone number, I'll tell you right now, there's two websites. cyberbackgroundchecks.com and then truepeoplesearch.com. If you have no money, these are the two best websites out here. Can you even see it?
It's a hard color.
It's a hard color. But cyberbackgroundchecks.com and truepeoplesearch.com. That's how you find anyone's phone number. It's scary. The cyber background checks is a really scary website, actually. It's got everyone's information. So I'd highly recommend that too. And also, if you want really good skip tracing, just go to xleads.com. I'm going to leave it at that. xleads.com. That's the best way to get someone's phone number. But basically, that is how you find someone's phone number. Now, the million-dollar question. Okay, I'm getting leads. I'm getting sellers. I'm doing well. Now, what do? I have someone say, okay, hey, yeah, I am looking to sell my property. Okay. Well, how do you close? How do you close a virtual seller? Dun, dun, dun. Kind of scary. Actually, pretty simple. If you have somebody who says they want to sell the property and you don't live here, let's say you live in Minnesota and the deal's in Massachusetts, you're basically just going to tell the seller your process. That is it. So the seller's used to you, they're going to think you're local and they're going to think you're going to buy the property. Now, I've shown this on my live cold calling a lot, and I think a lot of people get really scared of this. I don't know why everyone gets so freaked out and scared. But if the seller says, are you local to Minnesota? Right, so a lot of the people, let's say I'm in Florida, I'm wholesaling Minnesota, right? First and foremost, if I don't talk like this, like I'm not from Minnesota, they get upset like, whoa, you don't have our accent. Yeah, no, I live in Florida. What? Now, how you respond to that is the most important part, okay? So it's really, really important. So what you got to say is, yeah, I don't live in Minnesota. I actually live in Florida, but me and my partner are looking to buy houses in Minnesota. I have partners that actively live in Minnesota that I work with, but heck, real estate's really expensive in Florida, and that's not the best way for me to buy investment properties. So yes, I don't live in Florida, but my partner's in Minnesota and we work together on this. If I have the cash to buy your house, is me living in Florida going to affect this at all if I have someone physically there in Minnesota to talk to you and go see the property? No. Oh, wow, you just did that, right? I see a lot of wholesaling gurus tell you to lie, say, oh, no, I live in Minnesota. It ain't going to go well, okay? It ain't going to go well. Now, how do I close the seller virtually? Now, there are two camps of how to do this, right? There's the guru camp and the camp that actually works. So let me grab my phone for an example here, right? If I'm a wholesaling guru and I put a little crown on my head and say, I'm the king of getting deals done, right? And I say, okay, I'm the king of everything, right? And I'm going to show you how I close sellers. You got a lot of gurus that do this, right? Not just one, there's a million of them. Hey, Mr. Virtual Seller. Okay. Would you take $100,000 for the house? Yes? Okay, perfect. I'm going to send you a DocuSign and just sign it. We'll be all good, okay? Great. Yes, I closed them. Yes. And everyone and their mom sees that, and that's what they do. They go to a seller, they negotiate a price, and they send the DocuSign out, close the phone call, and say, yeah, I closed it. I'm the man. You're going to find 60% of the time, the seller signs that e-signature. 60%. Whoa. That means when I get off the phone, there's a 40% chance they don't sign. Oh, yeah. It's kind of scary. You know why? Because what they're going to do is they're going to open it up, they're going to put their reading glasses on, and they're going to say, addendum? They're going to say, inspection period? They're going to say, earnest. Whoa, this is, oh my God, this is like, whoa. Like, I don't understand this. Okay, something seems, here's what, you know, the first thing people do when they don't understand something? This seems like a scam. I don't understand this, so it's a scam. That's what most people do. And most people, I'll be honest, if something seems off, you are trained to think it's a scam and just get away from it. And that's the problem. And so basically what happens is the reason why this doesn't work is you have what we call an unanswered objection. Okay? It's an unanswered objection. If somebody objects to you and it doesn't get answered, automatically you're guilty. You're guilty at all. So let's say there was there was a crime that happened. Okay, last night at 8 p.m., somebody robbed the entire Apple store. And they go to you, the cops go to you and say, where were you last night at 8 p.m.? And you say, I don't want to answer that. Your suspicion has been raised by 50,000 times. If I said, no, I was in my pajamas watching my Kardashians TV show, and here's proof, you're good. But if you say, I don't want to answer that, were you at the mall? I can't answer that to you. That's going to raise some suspicions, okay? If you don't answer somebody's objection, you are automatically considered guilty to that person. Not in the court of law, but you are automatically considered guilty, right? If you go out here and you say, for example, that you hate for a fact the Miami Dolphins, and someone asks you, were you at the Miami Dolphins game yesterday? If you say, I don't want to talk about it, you are automatically considered guilty in their mind. Some suspicions have been raised. Say, no, I was at home. Here's proof. That answers the objection. So the point of what I'm trying to say is, in the seller's mind, I don't know what EMD means. That's an objection. I'm asking that question. And if you're not there to answer because you're not on the phone, scam, get off the phone, boom, you're done. What I do is I change my closing percentage to 95%. You know why? Because I know how to talk to a seller. I'm not a stupid broke guru. Okay? 95% closing rate. You know what I do instead? When I'm on the phone and say, hey, Mr. Seller, Would you take around $100,000 for the house? Yeah, okay, perfect. Well, what I'm going to do is send you over the agreement via DocuSign, which is an e-signing service. What's your email? Boop, 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 boop. Okay, perfect. What I'm going to do is stay on the phone with you just so you can look over the agreement. If you have any questions at all, you let me know. I'm going to stay on the phone. Let me know, hey, did you just see that email? Let's pop it up and talk about it together. The reason why, okay, the reason why you want to do this, and this is really important. The reason why you want to do this is you are now stuck on the phone. Now, the seller is going to be annoyed with you, okay? They're going to be like, oh my gosh, I need to go off the phone, Zach. I need to go back and watch my Kardashians or my football game. And they just read it and they're like, I just want to get this guy off the phone. I just want to get this guy off the phone. So what they do is they look it over. Wait. What's inspection period? That unanswered objection. Oh, what inspection period basically is, it's a standard written agreement. It's in every single real estate contract where basically we can look at the house and just see that it is on par to what you've said. Now, unfortunately, Mr. Seller, I've had situations where they say the house is fine and it is termite infested. I'm not saying you're a liar, but what my partner in Minnesota needs to do is just go there, just confirm there's no termites in the house, and we're all good. That's why the inspection period is there, because the problem is if you lied to me, I would be on the hook for the agreed price. Unfortunately, I just got to confirm the condition, which we only go there once. Once it's good, we're good to set forward for the closing date. Does that answer your question? Oh yeah, no, it's no termites, nothing like that. Okay, perfect. And just go down. Okay, well, I signed the DocuSign. Great, perfect. What we're going to do is send this over to the title company. It's Susie Sale Title over there on 4th Avenue. Oh, wow, I work on 5th Avenue. Oh, that's awesome. But you can just drive by there. Her name's Sarah. She's great. Blah, 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 blah. And I'll call you back tomorrow and see when my partner can come to my house and at a time that is convenient for you. Okay, great. The reason that works is when I stay on the phone with the seller, they usually sign it first because they want to get me off the phone. And if they have an objection, it gets answered right there. That's how I get my closing rate to 95 from 60% as the average guru. The problem is your guru does like a PPL paid service and it's like it doesn't work and they end up never closing the deal. So that's the main issue here. Now, once we get the deal locked up, we have to go get the pictures, we have to get inspection, walk the buyer through, and really this comes down to boots on the ground. Now, I feel like boots on the ground is like the biggest thing people get freaked out over. How do I find boots on the ground? How do I get someone to go take pictures of the house? How do I find somebody to walk a buyer through? Okay, let's talk about boots on the ground for virtual wholesaling really quick, okay? Now, the problem is somebody wants me, and I'm being honest with you. I'm being completely 100% with you. Somebody wants me to write down on this whiteboard a magic formula where somebody is going to go out here with a perfect, beautiful camera, snap 100 perfect quality pictures of the house, a magic angel from heaven comes down, walks the buyer through perfectly, virtually, and they don't want any money. And they just want to do it absolutely for free from the goodness of their heart. That is what you want me to write down right here because you have no money. It don't work like that. I hate to tell you, okay? It don't work like that. Now, there's ways you have no money you can do it, which I'm going to show you. But a lot of people want this sweet, special angel to come down from heaven and be a free boots on the ground that does it out of the goodness of their heart. It don't work like that, okay? Let's talk about free for a second, okay? If you have no money and you want a boots on the ground, you have two options. I'm being just straight up with you. You have two options. Option number one, which is the number one option, probably the best option for everyone, is you have a JV partner. I hate to tell you, JV partner is probably going to be your best bet. So if I'm wholesaling in Minnesota, I'm going to find a wholesaler in Minnesota who I'm going to give half the deal to. They find the buyer. They're my boots on the ground because I live in Florida. A lot of stuff can go wrong without physically looking at the house. And if you have no pictures and you just call a buyer to go through the house himself, it's okay, but it gets really hard. The buyer could steal your deal. Not worth it. Now, how much does a JV partner cost? It's free, but they cost a lot. I'm going to be honest with you. A JV partner is going to cost you 50% of the deal. I know. That sucks. It sucks. But you get someone to take pictures, walk through the house. They're confirmed. It's really hard to steal the deal if you sign the JV the right way. That is kind of how it works. I wish I could tell you a special secret way that's even better, but it's not. That's what it is. Now, you can pay 50, 60 bucks and kind of avoid this. But if you have absolutely no money at all, that's what you got to do. Now, let's talk about option number 2, which is not ideal either. But you can have the seller take the pic for you, which not ideal. I'll be honest with you. You do not want to say, hey, can you send me a picture of the house? It does not seem professional. They might get out of the deal. Not my favorite scenario. But if you have no money, these are really your only options. I wish I could tell you a better option, but unfortunately, that's pretty much it. So, if you have money and you want to get basically a paid boots on the ground, why did I erase the whole thing? You have a couple options here. All right. Number 1, all right, probably one of my favorite ones is going to be using basically a BPO company. Now, what a BPO company is, a broker price opinion, which is basically a company that goes out here and deals with REOs or real estate owned houses. And they go out here and they take pictures of houses, and that's what they do. There's a lot of cool BPO companies. All they do is just take pictures of real estate. That's what they do. They're very neutral. They ain't going to steal your deal. Hopefully, I mean, it's not really ever a guarantee, but they're really good. What is it, 75, 80 bucks, sometimes 100. Not the best, but I know it's not going to be a wholesaler off the street that's going to steal my stuff. Number 2, you can kind of get a gig worker. Basically, a gig worker. Facebook, Craigslist, it could be a crazy dude, who knows, a crack addict, I don't know. You can hire somebody to take 100 pictures of the house for you for 50 bucks. A little cheaper, not the best, but you can do that. Or option number 3 for a boots on the ground for walkthroughs is basically going to be pay a broke realtor. At least you know you have a little more safety with a realtor, but some realtors like to do a walkthrough and steal the deal because they're broke. Really rich realtors are not going to do that, just being honest. You can technically have your buyer do the pictures, but it's not safe if you have no buyers together. But that's basically how you do the paid boots on the ground. And that's basically how you do it from there. Now, boots on the ground, walk through. Then what you do is you walk the buyer through, and you're pretty much going to go in the regular wholesaling real estate process. Now, the last part is title companies. Title companies are actually kind of easy now. You're either going to, number 1, call around. You're going to number 2, go to zachdiscord.com and just ask around. Or you go to number 3, which are going to be basically Facebook groups. So if you want to find a good virtual wholesaling title company locally, call every title company, see if they're okay with assignments, see if they're okay with double closings. Freewholesaling.com will kind of teach you how to do it right there. Then you can go to zachdiscord.com, ask everybody in the Discord, hey, what's a good title company for, I don't know, Fayetteville, North Carolina? They'll go out here and tell you. Go to a Facebook group like the Real Estate Investing Facebook group for Fayetteville, and they'll tell you right there. And that's how you know how to do it from there. Now, the last part here, and probably a question a lot of people have, is how do I find cash buyers? There's a lot of really good ways to find cash buyers, and let me kind of show you exactly virtual cash buyers for wholesaling real estate. Cash buyers virtually. Alrighty. So there's a lot of ways to find buyers virtually. It's really not that complicated. There's kind of like boots on the ground. There's a free and a paid way for this. So number 1, if you have no money and you want to find free buyers, okay, people buy your house virtually, I'm going to tell you Zillow is probably going to be your biggest friend, specifically the Zillow for rents. You're going to look at people who have rental property and they're listing their house for rent. Call them up, say, hey, I'm actually not looking to buy your house. I'm not looking to rent out your home. I'm actually a wholesaler seeing if you're looking to buy any more rentals in the area. Zillow for rents, number one, it's a great option. Number two is going to be going actually out here and using the power of Facebook groups. Love Facebook groups because you go to the Fayetteville, North Carolina real estate investing group and you're going to make a post. Hey, I have properties for a deep discount. Let me know if you're looking to buy any more. Heck, you can go into @Gmail and just find people dropping their emails of, hey, I'm looking to buy real estate. You can find them pretty simple at freewholesaling.com. We kind of break down the entire process of how to do that too. Number three, another good option is going to be title companies. That's right. A wholesaling friendly title company will be handling wholesaling transactions, and they have the contacts to all the good buyers, right? They got all the buyers. And so, yeah, I actually have a guy, he's buying a lot of rentals through us, and he's buying them from wholesalers. I can actually give him a call and see if he's looking to buy any more good deals because the title company wants to make their fees. Now, number four here, and they're vetted. Like the title company already did a transaction with the person. They're going to be very, very vetted on here. And that's kind of a really good point. And then lastly is going to be using, how do I say the term right? Realtor, right? Like, realtor, don't call it realtor, realtor. That's what I get asked a lot, realtor. Use a realtor. Specifically, if I have no money, I like to go to Redfin, Realtor.com, Zillow, and I like to go to the sold section, and I like to go to properties that sold for under 100 grand, like the ugliest house that sold. Then I look for the buyer's agent and I just call them up because on Zillow, Realtor, Redfin, it's all in there. And that's how you do it, these four on here. So if you have no buyers and you want to find them, you have no money, these are the fours. Remember, Zillow for rents, Facebook groups, title companies, and realtors. Now, if I had some money and I want to kind of up my dispo, I'll tell you there's really one way to do it. And I'm saying this in the nicest way. And I feel like a walking billboard saying this, but just get X leads. That's it. Okay. So it's basically your $30,000 a year dispositions company software, but you get it for free. So basically what you can do here is pull a list of all the buyers, and you just put your zip code to your city and it pops the top 50 buyers, top actually 100 buyers. And it does the top 100 landlords, and it just kind of shows you all the buyers. And then boom, you can go out here and display your deal. You can actually make a listing and then email blast all your buyers you find on X Leads. You can get all the cash sales, blast it out to them. I don't know, I mean, X Leads is how you do it. So I have an X Leads YouTube channel. Just search X Leads Dispo, X Leads Cash Buyers on YouTube. It should be in freewholesaling.com soon. And if you have a paid way, that's how you do it. But me and Rick own the software, so I don't want to sound like a whole crazy guy on here to do it, but that's basically how you do it. And then last but not least is you're going to want to know exactly my closing scripts. How do I talk to a cash buyer? How do I cold call virtually? What are my scripts? What are my scripts? I have a good one. Scripts and tips. Is that rhyme enough? Mm-hmm. Scripts and tips for virtual wholesaling, right? You just go to freewholesaling.com. That is our free real estate wholesaling course. It is free, wholesaling.com. Just go to freewholesaling.com, the word free, the word wholesaling.com, and that's where all of our scripts, me talking to sellers live, all these things are on there. Unfortunately, YouTube does not allow me. They take videos down on a weekly basis now of me having live conversations with sellers. Because of their privacy policy. Well, at freewholesaling.com, I pay over 6 figures a year on server costs and just employees just to keep the website running, and just use it because I spend a lot of money on it. I'm just trying to teach you wholesaling for free. And that shows you all the scripts, tips, everything you can download so you can learn how to wholesale real estate step by step. So that is virtual wholesaling 101. That was like a speed run, honestly. That was like the fastest I get through it. But what I'm going to do is answer some questions you have right now, and let's talk about it. We're excited. So FYI too, why Rick's doing that, we actually have our live event next week, Wednesday, Thursday, so that's pretty exciting. We're actually having an X Leads Mastermind in Orlando. So if you have X Leads and you want to go meet me and do a little mastermind for an hour or two, DM me. I can hit you up. But That's pretty exciting. But what we're going to do next week is on Wednesday, Thursday, right? We're actually having our live event, right? So I won't have a live stream next Thursday. So what we're going to do is 6 months ago, we had our other Flipper Plus live event. It was called the Wholesaling Accelerator, right? It was probates. It was a whole probate event. It was a whole event on scaling. It was a whole event on virtual wholesaling. It was definitely like how to accelerate your business, accelerate wholesaling, right? It was 6 months ago in Dallas, Texas. So what we're actually going to do here is we are going to break down the entire recording day one of the Wholesaling Accelerator on Wednesday. It's going to be a premiere. So it's not a live, it's going to be a premiere, but you're going to be able to be in the comments. And we're going to do all day one, like hours and hours. Yep. And then on Thursday, we're going to release at 1 p.m. day 2 of that entire event. And that's pretty dang cool. So day 1 and day 2 of the entire event 6 months ago is going to be public on YouTube, because I truly believe in my heart, me and Rick do, that see me and Rick do a deal with me, then you can join Flipper Plus for free or pay like the $97 a month. So you can actually, we spend over 6 figures a year on events now.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. We lose money on the events, but the reason is 97 helps cover it. So it's not 7 figures, I guess. I don't know. But basically, if you want to go actually meet me and Rick, send me a wholesaling deal at sellmypaper.com. The reason is we do a lot of JV deals. We make a lot of money doing it. So that's why we're trying to promote Flipper Plus for that. But also, if you want to come to the next live event, just go to flipperplus.com. It's already sold out. But if you want to see the recording of our last event, it's going to be on Wednesday and Thursday. So that's going to be pretty exciting. So look it out, Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be pretty dang cool.
Awesome. You look up some questions. So just a couple of things to clarify on this. Everything we've showed you today is more than enough to get you started in virtual wholesaling without a ridiculous coaching course. It's up to you to take the action. Here is the difference what me and Zach teach. Everything we taught you today works. Here's what you've got to understand. You have a choice. You can be a transactional wholesaler or you can be a relationship wholesaler. If you're going to go in and just lowball people and try to spit out numbers, to be honest with you, me and Zach are not a good fit for you, because you're going to get bad deals to at best marginal. If you decide to go the relationship route, meaning you actually build rapport, connect with people, and have conversations, you will get fantastic wholesaling deals. Here's the difference, guys, is you have to spend time with people. You have to turn your scripts into conversations. This is all stuff we teach at our events. We teach at freewholesaling.com. It is not about money to us. It is a skill set. If you think you can just run people over and shove a number down their mouth, we are not a good fit for you. You will get very bad deals. If your deals are constantly falling out, they're not working out, it's because you're just trying to do a transaction. You are a number to that person and they don't care. They don't trust you. They don't believe you. You are not being authentic. So you have to understand that. So you have to commit to the relationship side, because if you're just going to try to go through the motions and not connect with people, none of what I'm teaching is going to work, nor in Zach. Now, I want to give you an example because I found a really cool story that came out. So we appreciate all the well wishes while Zach was floating around in Europe somewhere, and I was dodging hurricanes and tornadoes left and right. There was a really cool story in our local area, and it is about a family. So it was a guy, his wife, and they had a small child. They were in the Fort Myers area. They were pretty much going to get whacked with a Category 5 hurricane. And the guy had no car. He had no bicycle. He didn't call an Uber. And you know what he said? He says, I got to get to safe shelter. Now, I assume there probably were some local shelters he could have done, but he skipped it. He wanted to go east to get protection from the storm. So what he did is, he ready for this? He went for, you guys can look it up. I don't even know what the distance. He went from Fort Myers. This is crazy. All the way to basically St. Lucie County. It's a big county, but it's all the way east. So I'm going to draw it like the state of Florida here. It's a terrible drawing. He basically went from here all the way to there. Check this out. He did it without a car, without a bike. with his wife and his small child. He showed up at the St. Lucie County Police Station and they said, he goes, we desperately need water. They were all blistered up. And they go, what time's the shelter open? They said, at 2 o'clock today. They said, great. They go, well, how far did you come from? He goes, I came from Fort Myers. Here's the crazy part is, you know what he said? They go, why would you do that? So guys, that's almost 90 miles. Him and his family walked 90 miles because he said, I have to get there. It is, you know what he said? Here's the word, must. I must do it. The guy had a million other different ways, but here's what I respect about the guy. He made up his mind, removed every obstacle out of his life, and brought his family to safety. That's a guy I want doing wholesaling. That's the attitude you have to take wholesaling. You got to stop words try. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to make a couple calls. All the list, everything me and Zach gave you today, if you make it your must, wholesaling will work for you. If you're going to pick and choose and I'm going to try or I'm going to get opinions on the internet, you're going to get stuck. How can a man and his family walk 90 miles? Now do the math on this. Check this out. It took him 2.5 days to do it. 2.5 days on foot. But you know what? The man set a must out and he got it done no matter what was going to happen, hell or high water, and he got it done. If you'll take that same attitude with virtual wholesaling, you can get anything done in your life. If one man can make a decision to bring his family to safety and overcome massive obstacles, walking through the dark, sleeping on the ground, skipping food and water, what's your excuse for wholesaling? Guys, you have it so made in the United States. You have people in foreign countries taking food off your plate because they want it so bad. They make $1 or $2 per day in their nation. Guys, look around you. Take advantage of the opportunity because wholesaling has never been better than it is right now in 2024. And in 2025, you're going to have the greatest opportunity in front of you. And me and Zach want you to achieve it. So change your tries. And I'm thinking about if you want wholesaling to work, make it a must. As Tony Robbins say, if you just shift to a must, it gets done. Most of you, hopefully, brush your teeth every day. Why? It's just a must. It's non-negotiable. You might brush it later, you might brush it earlier, but it is a must. If you can take that gear in wholesaling to must, you can get anything done. Get rid of your whining, get rid of excuses, lose your ego, stop feeding it, and turn your tries into a must, and anything can happen in wholesaling. So, guys, I think we've pretty much touched everything on virtual wholesaling today. Anything you want to add to it, Zach? Or
No, I mean, make some money. That's it.
Guys, must. If a man can walk his family for 2.5 days to just seek shelter, what can you do with your capacity in wholesaling? And it really, the story puts it in perspective to you. When somebody sets their mind to do something, they do it. I don't know, most people would have quit after about 3 hours of walking. But can you imagine like 30, 45, 50 hours of nonstop walking with a small child and your wife? It's absolutely insane. And I think it's an inspirational story. And guys, don't forget, form relationships with these people. You cannot be a machine. AI will help you hunt, will help you move faster. But at the end of the day, this is about people. It's not about real estate. Every guru wants to tell you it's all about the real estate. People create their own problems and real estate is just a symptom. Us wholesalers solve problems that most people can't. Realtors can't, mortgage brokers can't. And you know what? We need more wholesalers. We need quality wholesalers that understand we are out to help people. If you want to help people along those missions, join me and Zach at freewholesaling.com. Come out to our live events. Join us on our live streams. There's a million ways to get in touch with us. And if you want to do a deal with us, go to sellmypaper.com. We are the only guys that provide 100% free wholesaling. Why? Because we're tired of all the games played in the business. If you truly want to step up and you want to get on that like varsity wholesaling team with me and Zach, you got to put in the work. Change your tries and the must. Guys, go out and get it done in wholesaling.
That's it. Guys, any value from this video, smash the like button, subscribe, go to freewholesaling.com. I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And get virtually